From the cart to the door, we're connecting the dots, exploring what works and revealing the plots. It's not just a brand, it's the story it weaves. LTV is the key that everyone needs. LTV Lab, where the mind's on fire.
Everyone, welcome to the first episode of LTV Lab. If you don't know me, my name's Elliot. I'm the founder and lead strategist at Dispatch, where we focus on helping 7- and 8-figure brands scale their retention marketing revenue. So I'm joined today by our team of retention marketing strategists at Dispatch, Kayla and Eleni, as well as Saf, who is our ops manager and has learned a ton about strategy through osmosis over the last few years and has plenty of strong opinions. So excited to hear from Saf as well on the strategy front. And we're excited to just take you on a journey today. So to be more specific, we're going to be taking you through the customer journey of 4 brands that are in the sweet treat niche. So basically, each episode is going to focus on one niche, 4 brands, one niche. Today's is the sweet treat one. So the concept of the show is very simple. If you follow anyone in the email marketing space on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, a lot of people try and dissect brands' customer journeys. They basically will post like screenshots of flows for brands. So they'll dissect their welcome series, their post-purchase, and they'll try and provide an analysis of flows, campaigns, and give feedback on what brands should be doing to drive higher LTV, drive higher repurchase rates. But there's a fundamental problem in their analysis, which is that retention marketing alone does not lead to customer retention. So that might sound strange coming from the owner of a retention marketing agency, but the fact of the matter is the best emails, the best text messages, the best loyalty program in the world are not going to get someone to buy from your brand again and place another order if they didn't have a good overall experience with your brand the first time that they purchased. So if your brand is falling under their expectations, if you're not solving their pain points properly, like the best emails in the world, best post-purchase flow in the world is not going to be able to do that. So with that in mind, each team member that's here today placed an order from one brand a little over 30 days ago. And we placed an order from a brand that we were interested in trying for XYZ reason that we'll discuss, that either solved the need, or in this case, more likely the want for a sweet treat. So the 4 brands that we're going to be dissecting in this first episode of LTV Lab are number 1, YVR Cookie, which is what Kayla ordered from, Sweet 16, which Eleni ordered from, SmartSweets, which Saf ordered from, and then Midday Squares, which I ordered from. And basically, we're going to be walking through what each brand's customer journey looked like and rate them on the Dispatch retention rubric, which you can see right here, which is broken into 4 phases of the customer journey. So the first phase is the initial ordering experience. So how someone actually enjoys ordering from your website definitely plays into how much they enjoyed the overall shopping experience with your brand and if they're likely to repurchase. The second is the order to delivery phase. So pretty self-explanatory, but between the time that someone places their order and the order gets delivered, what the brand is doing in that phase. The third is the unboxing experience. So everyone has different ranges of opinions on how much the unboxing experience actually matters for driving customer retention, but we'll basically see what each of these 4 brands did and audit their unboxing. And the fourth phase is the post-purchase phase, where we're going to be looking at what each of these brands did in the 30 days after an order was placed to try and get us to effectively buy again. A winner is going to be crowned for each phase of the customer journey in our rubric. And at the end, we'll all have to answer the final question, which is, will we buy from this brand again? So without further ado, let's get into it here. So the first phase that we're going to be looking at is the initial order experience. So basically, this touches on the ease of finding the products that we wanted, the ease of finding the information that we wanted, and the checkout process, and potentially anything else. So we're going to go one by one here. We'll start with YVR Cookie. And first off, Kayla, I'm interested to know why you wanted to buy from YVR Cookie. It's like how you discovered them, what made you choose them, and then the rest of the initial ordering experience.
I actually saw an ad on social media, and the ad just looks so delicious. They were like breaking open the cookie, and it just looked gooey and delicious. And I have kids, so I wanted something I could order that I could also like share with them. that they would also enjoy. So it looked like something we both enjoy.
Cool. Okay. And the ordering experience, what was it like?
Um, it was fine. Like their website was pretty easy to navigate. The only thing I wish they would have done is they have all the descriptions of the cookies, like what's inside and like what it's made of on one page. But then when you go to order, it just says like select your cookie and it just lists the names. So I had to switch back and forth a couple times to like
Okay.
actually remember what the ones I wanted or like, what is this flavor again? Because some of them are like new unique flavors. So they're not necessarily that I would be like, okay, this is instinctively what it is. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's some flipping back and forth. So I wish some of like even like a micro description was on their actual ordering page.
Okay. Did anything at any point make you think like this is really annoying? I don't even know if I like want to go through with this order or no, like you were locked in.
No, I was locked in.
Okay.
I was locked in, but I think like I may have bought more if I wasn't like switching back and forth, right? Because there's like instinctively ones that you're like, yes, I want,
Mhm.
but if I was doing like a quick order, I may have just went with like a four cookie box versus a six or a
Got
nine
it.
because instead of like switching back and forth.
Okay. Did they have like an easy like variety pack you could buy? No.
They have like gift boxes, but then you don't get to like necessarily choose your product, but I also didn't really understand. Oh, actually, never mind. The gift boxes, you have to choose the cookie flavors too. So there's nothing that you can just be like
Yeah.
curate
Like
for
just
me. You can click
right.
like assorted flavor, but like nothing that's like pre-curated.
Yeah, I'm on
Okay.
their site right now, and you can scroll, like when you click on where I would think that you would like shop and add to cart from, like a regular collection page, it like
Mhm.
has all the cookies and they look delicious, but I can't
Yeah.
just like click add to cart.
Yeah, you have to go into like order and then like then choose your cookies.
Mm,
And they don't have
Got
like
it.
curated boxes. I mean, their flavors change every week, so like that may be part of why they don't have curated boxes.
Mm,
I feel like they also still could. They could have something generic like chocolate lovers box and like I'm sure they always have cookies that are like chocolatey or I don't know, fruit lover or just like different flavors um that you could just be like send me an assortment of four cookies.
for sure. Interesting. Okay, cool. Um, okay. Eleni, Sweet 16. How was it?
it was good. Their site is good. I just went on it to like refresh myself, and they do still have a banner on their site talking about the Canada Post strike, which I believe was happening before Christmas, and it is now April, so that is not great. But overall, their ordering experience was good. On the collection page, you can see like what size bags are offered and if they're out of stock and add to cart from the collection page without actually opening up and like reading the description if you know what you want, which was good.
Right.
I actually ordered a like gift box. So I think it was called the big gift box. Yeah, the big candy gift box. So it came with like a whole bunch of like things from every category and different sizes of bags as well. There was like some huge ones and some little sampler bags. So that's what I chose and it was a good shopping experience.
Okay, sweet. Did you know that you wanted that when you went to the site? Like, had you seen that before, or like on the site you found it?
I found it on the site. I actually buy these candies all the time. They sell them at like all the gas
Yeah, yeah,
stations.
yeah.
So when I found
I've
out that they like had an e-com store, I was like, okay, perfect. Like I'm just gonna get something I already know that I love for this, which worked out. I didn't know that they had gift boxes, and there's a lot of things on their site that I've never like seen at grocery stores or like at a gas station getting snacks. So I got some things I had never even seen too in that box.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, this is the perfect example of a brand. Like when you said Sweet 16 originally, I like did not know what this brand was at all, but then you see the packaging and you're like, "Oh, I've seen this at every gas station
Yeah.
ever." Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, staff, Smart Sweets, hit me.
Okay, so I actually had someone recommend them to me, which is why I wanted to try them initially. And then they kind of just started popping up at like every Walmart, every Shoppers, like all the grocery stores I normally go to. They were almost haunting me. And so I tried them. I loved them. I knew I wanted to get them for this exercise. But when I got onto the site, I was more excited that I could actually get all of the flavors rather than like getting just one or two that they usually have at each store because they don't have all of them everywhere. Um, but in terms of the actual ordering process, it was like super easy, really no complaints. The only thing that was like kind of annoying is they give you a certain size box, and depending on which candies you pick, the box fills up at a different rate. So if you ordered like a candy that comes in a larger bag, it like reduces the box size. So I kind of had to play around to get all of the ones I wanted. But
Is it
like
by weight or is
I
it
think so.
physical
Some
size?
Something like that. So it was like if you got the lollipops, it was equivalent to like 3 bags of gummies, if that makes sense.
So
Okay,
And
so they're
instead,
basically like making you do like all this mental math in
yeah,
filling up your, yeah.
which was kind of annoying. But outside of that, no complaints.
wait, so you had to make sure that everything you wanted fit in one box. What if you wanted to order like $500 of candy? Like you couldn't?
You have to, so they only have, I think it was 2 or 3 box sizes. And so you only have the options of ordering what fits in that box. So like if you needed, let's say if you were like ordering a certain amount of candy for like an event or whatever, like if your box is full, too bad your box is full, which is
So they
kind of annoying.
literally don't let you spend more money at a certain point.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
unless
interesting.
you get a whole other box. And then you can't order like a partial box either.
That's so
Got it.
confusing.
Yeah,
But go.
yeah.
Okay, so Midday Squares was pretty similar. I was kind of annoyed. I'll back it up a step with like why I want to order from them in the first place. So I know the founders of the brand a little bit. They're based out of Montreal, where I'm based, and they are just like a really cool brand. They have a really cool story. They're like popping on social media, and I've tried Midday Squares in the past, probably like when they were first started a few years ago. But like it's not in my face a lot these days. And when we talked about like sweet treats, like I always like if there's something I can buy that like solves an actual problem of mine, I'm gonna choose that. And like I get like midday crashes like all the time, like 3, 4 p.m. Like whether it's like from coffee or like skipping lunch or just like not eating enough, I crash. And like I had just seen a Midday Squares ad, I think, or like social post, and that's why like I wanted to try it. And basically, when I went on their website, I was super annoyed because they have 5 flavors. So, like to me, as someone who tried a few years ago, like doesn't really remember, they all look pretty good to me, which was kind of annoying because like it wasn't easy to decide which one I wanted. And like the way that you shop is basically they first ask you like which do you want to buy, so you have to choose one, and then like when you choose one, basically the like way that they break out their SKUs, I guess, is like by supply. So like you can't buy one bar, you have to buy like a pack of 24 squares at the minimum. And like similar to you were saying, Saf, like you have to do the math to figure out like, okay, like the lowest quantity they allow you to buy is a 20-day supply, which is 2 boxes of 12 bars each. And basically, like when you first load the page, so like let's say I say like want to buy cookie dough, it'll like preload like 2 cookie dough boxes, and then like they kind of this like button that says customize flavors is like kind of hidden. Well, it's not hidden; it's just like not really clearly displayed. And then like you kind of just have to figure out like, oh, okay, like I can only get 2 boxes and like then only try 2 flavors. And the thing is like because the boxes themselves are pretty big, like the lowest order you can place is like over $50. So like if you want to try several flavors, like it adds up super quickly. Like if you want to try 3 boxes, it goes from 50 to like 75. So I want to spend around like $50. So I got 2 boxes and like I chose 2 flavors that I wanted, but like I couldn't get all of them, which was like kind of annoying to me because like at that point I don't know like if I would have fallen in love with another one, you know? So that was my experience. Kind of confusing. Like the actual UX is just like not super clean. So like there's a lot of friction to purchase. And then like checkout's kind of like basically Shopify, so standard, but getting to checkout, like there's a ton of friction there. So that was that. And then the other thing, and like no one really talked about this, but I don't know if you guys felt this too. Like they don't have like a subscription option. So like if I did have to go back to the site and go through this every time, like it would be pretty annoying for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have subscription off like notes for the other categories, but did you say it's 24 bars and they call that a 20-day supply?
I'm on the site right
Yes.
now, and yes,
That's dumb.
they
That's
20,
that's dumb.
they say 24
I actually didn't even think of that.
should
I
last
hate it.
20
I'm
days.
upset.
Yeah. 36
It's a
squares
very,
should last 30
that's such a
days.
good call out.
I I can't even get. I'm so upset. Why are you?
I guess they've run some calculation of like the average person like will have 1 bar per day, but like 2 bars every 5 days or something like that. It's like the only thing I can think of. But
Either way, I
great,
don't
great
like
call out. Yeah. So overall, like one more thing that's just like confusing.
The way they
So
call
that's
it a
that.
20-day supply almost makes me feel like I'm having a subscription because then it's like how often do you want to reorder? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just curious. Like they're very wholesale focused. So
Yeah.
like I get that's probably why they like under focus on ecom, but still it seems like an easy win. So that was that. Not the best experience. Okay, let's go through our ratings. Kayla, YVR Cookie, you went through your order experience, 0 on 10. What are we rating it?
It wasn't the worst. I don't know, 7.
Okay, glowing review. A 7? Okay, cool. Eleni, Sweet 16.
I would say an 8.5.
Okay.
Make all the
And
tea.
Saf, Smart Sweets.
It was like it was. I was happy. It was like a 9.
Oh, wow. Okay, even with the math, you had to do 9.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I was
cool.
okay with it. I got everything I wanted.
Okay, Midday Squares. I'm a harsh critic, but like my expectations for the brand were really high because like their branding on social media is so strong. It just was not a smooth purchasing experience at all. I would say like a 5.
That's fair.
Okay, cool. So winner of round one, which was the initial ordering experience, was SmartSweets. Sweet. Okay. Saf, I don't know if you actually get to like take credit for this as a win, just because you like chose the best one, but I'll give it to you if you want it.
I always. Yeah. Thank you. Feel great. Can I put a little crown in it?
Yeah, of course.
Can I? Yeah. So
Yeah.
cute.
Okay, SmartSweets leading so far. Sweet. Who do we think the biggest underdog is here? Like who
I
would we
want to
be the
say
most shocked by?
YVR Cookie because they seem just like smaller than everyone else with like less like money to spend on everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they
That'd
Yeah.
seem
That's
probably
like
fair.
be my bet too.
the
Yeah.
smallest brand, so like they don't have the same resourcing to like hire agencies to like do all of this for them or like the time or resources to run like all these A/B tests and whatever. So I would have to say YVR Cookie.
And it definitely feels like they are putting most of their energy into like paid ads versus anything else.
Interesting that you noticed that. Okay. Cool. And then like what's the opposite of an underdog? Uh like expected winner.
Favored.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the favorite.
Yeah.
Like I guess like
Yeah.
who's the favorite here? I would think Midday Squares personally, just because like I know them the most as a brand. But what do you guys think?
I think Midday Squares and Sweet 16. Oh, and SmartSweets. I guess they're all in Costco. I'm like, that's my maybe my marker of like who's made it in like the
It's funny after we like had decided which ones we were going to be, and like we told each other our companies, like
Mhm.
now all I can see is Smart Sweets. Anytime I go to the store, like I just see it all the time, and like I never really noticed it before, and now all of a
They're
sudden I'm like,
everywhere.
oh,
they are
it's there.
everywhere.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
there.
They're everywhere. And they've released like so many new flavors. So like every week I go to the store, there's like new stuff.
Uh,
Yeah.
we all
Wow.
chose Canadian brands, I think. Is SmartSweets Canadian?
Yes.
I think they
Yes.
are.
I read their emails. I think so.
Okay.
Okay, I will say I tried to pick like 3 non-Canadian brands first. And none of them shipped to Canada or shipping was like really expensive.
Ooh.
So that brought me to Midday Squares eventually. So apologies, Midday Squares. You weren't the first choice, but maybe now
Actually,
you
the
will be.
same with YVR Cookie. I had another first choice, but they didn't ship to Canada. So,
Interesting.
and I think like that's why YVR came up on my feed is because I was searching for other things because my first choice was an option.
Interesting.
Cool.
I don't know.
Okay, SmartSweets leading round one. Okay, so next we're gonna move into the order to delivery phase. So we can just talk through like how long did it take to get your order? Because obviously, like if you're waiting weeks, that's not fun as a customer. And then like any communications that were received in that period that might have led to just like an overall better experience with the brand, worse experience with the brand, to kind of drive you to a repeat purchase eventually. So, Kayla, let's start with YVR Cookie.
Hold on, I have to calculate how long it took. I ordered February 28th and it came to me March 10th.
Okay, I'm curious to know
There was
because
a
sometimes
delay
like,
because there was a snowstorm, so it was supposed to come on a Friday, but then there was like bad weather. So then, and because it was a weekend, it didn't come to the Monday, which I was very disappointed about, but it was what it was. Can't control the weather.
yeah, okay, well that's like basically what I was gonna ask because sometimes like how we feel about something is like more important than like the actual facts.
Yeah.
So like when you just look back, like before you even calculate it, like did it feel like it came quickly or like it felt like it took a long
Um,
time?
it kind of felt like what I expected. They're in BC and I'm in Ontario,
Mm,
so it kind of has to go across the country. So, it came in the timing that I was expecting. I would have loved to get them on the Friday. Like I was really excited, but the weather was what it was.
okay, gotcha. Okay, and then in terms of like communications you got in that
Oh my gosh,
period.
it was so much. So I got all of their like transactional emails, but they also signed me up for like the UPS notification, so I was getting double basically. So I'd
Mhm.
get their transaction like it's out for delivery, and then I'd get a UPS being like it's out for delivery. So
That's
I
so
was
Got
annoying.
it.
it was
That is
super
really
annoying
annoying.
because I would get one and I'd be like, okay, awesome, but then you get another and you're like, ugh, like I don't want this now. Like get out of my inbox.
It's out for
Was the
delivery,
email
and you think the next one is going to be like order delivered, but it's just out for
Yeah.
delivery again.
You end up getting like two and you get a little excited and then I was
So
like,
true.
oh my God, another one. Like it's the same message. And then but it happened like multiple times. Like I got four transactional emails from them and every time I got a corresponding like UPS notification that was dis like I was like super excited and then it would like bring me down.
Yeah, that's super annoying. Okay, cool. Um, okay, anything else in that phase that like good, bad?
Not really. I mean, they were super communicative. Like I got a lot of like information about where my order is.
Mhm.
Um, but maybe a little too much is probably the only thing.
Okay, interesting. Cool. Sweet 16, Eleni, what happened?
Oh, this was honestly, I would be shocked if somebody had it worse. I ordered, placed the order, or Saf placed the order for us on February 28th, I believe it was. So I got the
Mhm.
your order was received email, and I was amped up because
Mhm.
candy is on the way. And then I received welcome emails, which I was like, okay, like I'm in their welcome series now. That's a different story because it came with the welcome offer that was sent to me after Saf placed the order. So we didn't get to use the welcome offer, which was kind of disappointing. And I feel like that's just like really disappointing. You place an order and then 15 minutes later they're offering you 10% off your first order that you just made. And
Did
then
you
I
also
didn't,
get the first email in French?
yeah, so Saf, actually, can you
You want me to pull
jump
it up?
over
Yeah.
to, I don't know what
Here,
order
right?
we're going to scrutinize the emails in versus rate them, but the first email I got was actually a double opt-in email in French. Um, so that would have been very confusing if I didn't speak French. I was able to double opt in there. Um, but the subject line is in both languages, and then the preview text was only in French. I know they're based out of Quebec, so I was like, okay, you know what? Like, that's fine. Like, let's see how the rest go. So I double opted in and then I started receiving those welcome emails. So then I got the welcome offer with the code that we didn't get to use. And this was in English. The preview text, I don't know if it's because they didn't set it or what, but I pulled the screenshot in up there at the top where it's like a link UTM MailChimp code happening there that
Mhm.
got pulled in. So that was just like confusing to see on my phone home screen. And then my order didn't ship until I reached out to them like 11 days later. So after this, I got kind of like ghosted. Um,
No emails
they
in between, like no campaigns, no formulas, like
No,
nothing.
just
Just
this welcome to
silence.
2% that we didn't get to use. Then the same day that I emailed them, they responded and they're like, I got the shipping notification. So it didn't ship for 11 days, which was kind of sad. For those days, didn't know, like, maybe it shipped, maybe it's on the way, like, hadn't really heard anything. But when I got the shipping notification after everybody else got their orders, it was kind of disappointing.
What's
Then,
wild too is like you only get that notification when they like create the label. So like for a lot of
yeah.
brands, they'll create the shipping label and then wait a few days still till like UPS picks it up or something.
Yeah.
That's a long
So
time.
when I got the like your order has shipped notification and I clicked on like the tracking or whatever it gives you, said like label created like on that day. So I
Mhm.
really knew that it was just waiting in there, I guess like Shopify placed orders. And then I
Mhm.
got a couple um emails like your order's on the way from like the Shopify or Shop app, whatever those two on the first and last one are. Then the one in the middle, I'm guessing, is a Shopify app that they use for fulfillment. These ones were all in English. The one from their, I guess, fulfillment app was in English and in French, which was fine if you have both. I'm not gonna knock them for having both languages. And then I received a post purchase, which was asking me to leave a rating, but my order had not yet actually like arrived. I don't know if it was just before it shipped or just after it shipped, but I did get an email asking for a review before I had actually received the product.
Yeah, this is on the 10th. You got your order is going out on the 11th, so it was before
Yeah.
it even, yeah,
So before I I think this is what prompted me to email them because I was
I
like,
think
okay,
so.
you're asking me to rate the order that I don't know if you've even shipped yet. Um,
Mhm.
and then I guess it must be 30 days after placed order, I got the second one pushing for another order, which is the last email I received from them. So overall,
Okay.
not a
Now,
great order to receive package experience.
I'm curious to know from your perspective and like not even from an marketing retention marketer strategist opinion, just from like a customer experience perspective, because you were just like a customer in this case, like
Yeah.
how annoying was it really to get that like 10% off discount after you just placed an order at full price and like obviously weren't going to use it? Like, and
Yeah.
like in terms of wanting to repurchase later on.
Yeah, like it's really annoying because like yeah, I've just placed my order and like I got the thank you for placing your order Shopify notification right away and then double opted and then 10% off your order that we're sending to you even though you can't use it, which was like quite disappointing honestly because then if I were to go place another order, I'm sure that that sweet 10 code wouldn't work because I've placed an order and I'm assuming that the logic on the Shopify code would be
Yeah,
first
very
orders
possible.
only. So that's just like so annoying, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Um, okay, Saf, better for
Um,
you.
so much better. Actually, I think I'm pretty sure I got a shipping notification or like yeah, I think I got a shipping notification the same day I placed the order. Like it came so quickly. Yeah, it was out for delivery within just like a couple days. I think I got it within like 5 days of placing the order. So genuinely no complaints about that. However, I'm probably jumping the gun getting to this, but I was so upset that the track package button didn't work because I didn't know what service provider they were using. So I literally had to go on UPS, Canada Post, and FedEx to try this tracking number to see where it would work. I was, and I
Wait,
know
what
this is
happened
like
when you clicked track your package?
nothing.
What do you mean? It literally didn't link
It just
anywhere.
it was yeah, there was no link. It just I clicked it like 7 times and nothing happened. So I had to like try the tracking number in each service provider, hoping I got it right.
It's pretty wild how like low in the email it is, like how much you have to scroll to get there.
Ridiculous.
You do have a lot of things, but yes.
But like these
Mhm.
are
But
huge compared to, and if like all of their boxes have this much stuff in it. So if you know that like you
Oh,
sell a lot of small items, it's not like
like
I'm ordering
all
one
of
sofa, you know?
all of mine for like like the button, the tracking is like at the top, kind of like where your pink button is in the other one. Like they could
Yeah.
easily just have it up.
Yeah.
that's
I
Okay,
thought that was
so
excellent.
very silly.
major double miss by like the button not working and then like you having to go on a scavenger hunt to like figure out who they even ship with.
Yeah. Yeah. Just ridiculous. I was very upset about it. But outside of that, it came really quickly. I didn't get any SMSs. They didn't ask me to opt in for any of that, so like whatever. But I got the 3 emails and that was no complaints aside from
Okay, cool.
the track order.
I do find just like time from purchase to like it being in your hands is really important. Just like looking back on like I feel like it's one of those things where like you don't think about it much if it like comes right away or if it comes like in 2 days, 3 days. But like if it takes longer than 3 days, like you're sitting around like waiting for it, like trying to track your package,
Yeah.
like or like Eleni, like you have
Yeah.
to email them. So that definitely like is a huge part of the retention piece, like in my opinion.
Or even if like it's gonna take like 10 business days. Had I at least known that it would take 10 business days, then my expectation would be, okay, I'm gonna have to wait a while to get this. Whereas I was just kind of like, I don't even know if it sh like I don't even know if it shipped or not. Like no idea. So the expectation was, or what I had put together in my head was like something is wrong.
Yeah, because mine did take a little bit longer, but it was very clear in the checkout experience that it was going to take probably 10 business days because of my location. I could have opted to pay for like faster shipping, but it was ridiculous. So no, it was like $60 to get it in 2 days.
I'm actually
So
really like happy you brought that up, like the expectations part, because like that's so true. Just like there's like a quote that says like happiness is like expectations minus reality. And like the fact is like if they would have just let you know like it's 2 weeks, like you could have just like accepted that, moved on with your
Yeah.
life, and then like known what it was versus like
Yeah.
having to check and think about it every day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's huge for sure. Cool. Okay. We can go over to Midday Squares if you want to share that, Saf. So basically, like the main call outs here are like you only see this when like you zoom out and like look at their marketing like across their entire funnel and their entire brand. But like their brand marketing is so strong. Like they take their brand so seriously. Like if you go to their social media, like they almost like they barely even talk about like product. It's like this is what Midday Squares stands for. They have this whole community that's called like Crew Love, they call it. And like it really feels like you're like part of something if you're like buying Midday Squares, and like there's so much like of a brand world that like you're stepping into when you buy. So like I was kind of disappointed when I purchased to see that like number one, like I'm the last person to say that design really like matters to have like a positive impact, but I think like the lack of design can have a negative impact. We're just like seeing that this is a standard Shopify template, like that to me with it's not just that it's a standard Shopify template, it's that like there's no like welcome message from the Midday Squares team. Like everything about it is just extremely generic. And like the that to me was just like, okay, like I just took this step to like become part of the community, but now like I'm just being treated like a customer at like any other brand in the world when I've been like kind of led to believe that like this is like a very different type of brand that like stands for bigger things, you know? So I may have like overthought that. It's kind of what I do. But like to me, I do think that's like was a miss on their part in just getting me to like get excited about like my first purchase and joining the community that they like spend so much time and effort promoting. Other than that, definitely like they there's like important information in here that they like bury. So I got the like order confirmed email right away, and they basically say like, did you know that our bars live in the fridge? And then they say like refrigeration is required to maintain optimal freshness. On that note, it can last up to 5 days outside of the fridge. And I don't know about you guys, but like when I get a really standard order confirmation email like this, I just see like thank you for your purchase and like close it basically. Like
Yep.
maybe I'll click like track your order if that button's there, but like I'm not reading this copy because I just assume it's going to say something that is really generic, which is in most of these templates, which is like thank you for your order, blah blah blah. But like if they do have really important information to communicate to me about like how to preserve it for freshness and the refrigeration that's required, like I think that should be clearer for sure. Then in that second email, like they did ship it really quickly and it got into my hands, I think within 3 days. So like that was really good. And like I actively thought that like that was a great part of the experience. In that second email, where they're saying a shipment from your order is on the way. Basically, like kind of similar to what you were saying, Saf, like there's no clear CTA to like go track your shipment. So it says right in that first line of copy, like track your shipment to see the delivery status. But then like right below just says like view your order. And then like they do give you the UPS tracking number, but it's just like buried and not really right under that CTA. And then like there's a lot of information they're giving you here that like almost seems like it's like more for internal use only and like not that valuable to you. So like and kind of scaring you a little. They say like these bars are a refrigerated item. They can be removed from the fridge for up to 5 days at a time, which is our courier guarantee. If ever they do not arrive in this window, please contact us to have this rectified. And like to me, that means like I now have to like count the days until this is getting here. And then it gets even more confusing kind of when they say bars ship with ice packs and insulation only during the summer months to prevent melting, not to keep the bars fresh at a refrigerated temperature. So like they need to be refrigerated, which you told me in the first email, and they can only be like out of the fridge for up to 5 days. And like they're basically saying like they can last up to 5 days outside the fridge for your on the go lifestyle. But here you're saying like shipping can take up to 5 days, at which point like if it's longer than 5 days, like these bars might not be preserved anymore. And then I just have the huge question of like, does that mean I can't take them out of the fridge again? Or like, is
I
there a
was
chance
gonna
that these are going to arrive? You know, like it's just a lot of like, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this and she made the point. She's like, I don't want to know how the sausage is made. Just like, tell me what I need to know in like a clear format. So that was basically it. Cause it says like, please store your bars in the fridge immediately upon arrival. And then the first email, they're like, you can take them out for up to 5 days. So it just like wasn't super clear and just gives you a little stress I found of like, what do I do with these? You know, like, like, do I need to be worried that these aren't fresh? That's
Uh,
basically it.
yeah, I'm like super weird about like just like if food has been out for too long, like it just like turns me off from eating it. So I would be
Mhm.
so confused by like I know that I would just be overthinking like okay, it can be out of the fridge for 5 days. It took 2 days to ship. Can it then go back in the fridge and then I have 3 more days for outside of the fridge? I would be really confused by that, but I also think that I wouldn't read this.
So that's a good point. Like, but that's exactly the point I was trying to make before, which is like I actually didn't read this the first time I got it, which is like which makes it worse because then like it does have important information. They're saying like you shouldn't like eat this and you should contact us if it's been more than 5 days. And like they're not presenting it in a format that like makes it really clear, like at least bold it or have like a header or something to
Yeah.
speak out to the like its importance.
Was there anything in the box that told you this?
The fact that I don't remember like probably should tell you what it needs to. It's possible, but even then, like then I kind of have to do the calculation of like, okay, I just got the box, like how many days has it been?
Yeah.
And then the last email was just super straightforward. Your shipment's been delivered. Um, like what it didn't contain, which I think would have been helpful, is just like helpful tips on how to store the bars. So here, like I ignored your comms basically up until this point. Okay, you shipped it, it's on the way, cool. Now that I got it, like this is the time when I'm probably going to pay attention to anything that you have to share that like is important about how I can like make sure they're preserved and get enjoyment out of them. and there was just basically no other like information. And I think again, just like the miss here really is like you got to know about the brand to understand like why it's so apparent. But like the founders of the brand themselves are so like into the brand. Like they're the focus. Like their faces are on the packaging of the brand, and like their faces are all over the rest of the emails and everything. And like from the time that I placed an order to the time that it got there, there was just no like comment at all about like thank you for like joining us on this journey, like any message from the brand, like the founders, etc. So that like to me was like a very glaring miss.
That's kind of annoying that they like want you to be part of the club, and then once they have your money, they're like, just kidding, like do what you want. We don't
For
love you
sure. I'm like,
anymore.
yeah, I was like, oh, like I'm joining Crew Love. Like I'm part of Crew Love. This is amazing. And then we'll get to the fact that like there were no post-purchase emails and I waited like 14 days to get the next email. But like it really was like, am I not part of the crew? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, did I not order the right products or the right flavors?
Yeah.
You
You know?
chose wrong.
Yeah, so that was definitely like super apparent. And it's all again like to what Eleni mentioned, like it's about expectations. Like they
Yeah.
lay out like we're all about community, we're all about crew love, join the crew love, etc. And the expectation is like, oh, if I buy, I'm part of the crew love, I'm part of this community, and then you don't hear anything, you know? Whereas like a brand that like doesn't even talk about that and just sells like based on product benefits or whatever it is, like you're not gonna expect that at all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask something so niche before we go to the ratings? Because I want to know if it's just me that this bothers.
Hmm.
So, when you get emails, does it bug you if they use too many exclamation marks? Like, why are you using like put a header, make it bold. Why are you yelling? Is it just me?
I don't think about it.
I don't
I'm
know about
Me
it, but
personally.
now I see
also
it.
Really?
I'm also a heavy exclamation user in my everyday life,
Hmm.
Yeah,
so
but it's
Me
one thing
too.
to send a text with an exclamation mark. If someone's sending me an email with exclamation marks every sentence, I don't know. I don't like it.
I've never paid attention to it, to be
Now you
honest.
will. Now you will.
It might have just been an oversight along with like the branding of the email and the delivery of the information in it.
Mm, didn't like it. Anyways,
Anyways, okay, let's get to the ratings. Um, okay, Kayla, how do we feel about this phase in the customer journey for
I
YVR?
would say an 8. I got lots of communication and there was just a slight annoyance, so 8.
Cool. Eleni, Sweet 16.
I want to rate them high because I love the brand, but like a 1
that was
because my
yeah.
order didn't ship until I asked them where it was, and then it shipped, I think that day or the next day. So very disappointing, along with the welcome offer after we placed the order and the review request post-purchase before I received the order. Just like really bad. And it could have been so much better with like small changes to their
Mm.
setup.
Yeah, makes sense. Saf, SmartSweets.
It could have been really high, but honestly, me having to like look for which service provider they used to track my order made me so angry. So I'm gonna go 7.
Yeah, your time is valuable. Like,
Yeah.
send them an invoice for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's SmartSweets. And then Midday Squares, I think I'm going to rank this a 6. And like I think this really highlights like what is important. So Eleni had equal comms, if not like the same level, I would say, but like it just took a really long time to get it. And like that makes it a 1 for her. But like for me, like I got it fast and I didn't really think about this phase in the customer journey until I started like drilling in to what they were sending me for the analysis. So like I think they lose points for number one, like the lack of community aspect and the lack of like not making the things that are really important clear. Because I do think like even if I was a regular customer that wasn't analyzing this and I just missed it, and it did become an important thing for me to know, like that is a big miss in my opinion. But they got to me quickly, and like that in itself is like 5 points right there, or 6.
Sure.
So for the order to delivery phase, we're crowning the winner YVR Cookie. So again, I don't know if you want to take direct credit for this, Kayla, but you are the winner of this round
I will take
by association.
all the
Okay,
credit.
sweet. So Kayla and YVR Cookie are the winners of this round. SmartSweets now has competition and things are heating up. So let's move on to unboxing. Okay, unboxing, the factors that go in there are obviously like the packaging that it arrives in, and what's inside the packaging, and anything else that like you kind of felt or remember from that experience. So Kayla, YVR, what was it like?
I just remember being super excited because I was supposed to get it on the Friday and then there was a snowstorm and I had to wait all weekend for it. So when I
Mhm.
finally got the notification that it was at my door, I was like ecstatic that it was finally here. Um, they had like a branded box, which was like, okay, it wasn't like super exciting, but and it was a little banged up from UPS, but it was okay.
Mhm.
Um, but when I opened it, there was like a cute little message on like the top of it. I can't remember what it was, but I do just remember like smiling at the like little message they had. Um, and then each cookie was individually wrapped, which I didn't realize from their website, which I thought was pretty cool because you don't just have this like crazy box of cookies, you have these like individual cookies that you can do stuff. And there
Mhm.
was a little information card in the packaging. So it actually said I could like freeze the cookies. And because they're individually packed, I could individually choose which ones I wanted to freeze if I didn't want to eat them right away, instead of
Mm.
having to like throw a giant box of cookies in my freezer.
Interesting. Okay, that sounds great. Did it feel like a premium product when you unboxed it?
Yeah, like it felt like, ooh, these are special cookies. These are not like
Okay.
everyday cookies. Yeah, they felt like I was like, oh my God, like what are these cookies? And they were huge. Like the cookies are like they were the size of my hand. They were huge. So they felt very like, ooh, what is it? Well, like what am I getting into here?
Was the
Okay. Yeah.
size like not communicated on the site? Like, was that like a pleasant surprise? Like, did you not expect them to be that huge?
Not really. Like it does say jumbo stuffed cookies, but I was like, I think I was more focused on like the jumbo-ness and like their ads are all about like peeling, like not peeling, sorry, like breaking open the cookie and having the gooey stuff. But when I saw like how big and like how actually jumbo they were, like their photos and imagery does not show exactly how like the first one
Interesting.
I ate, it literally took me all day to eat. It's not a cookie you can eat in one sitting. They were great, but it's definitely not a cookie you can eat, at least for me, like all in one sitting. Like my kids would like split a cookie, and like that was good.
That's like such a pleasant surprise, I feel like, but
Mhm.
also almost a miss that they're not like showing that as much in their like marketing, I guess.
Yeah, like there is a line on their website, like jumbo, and I know like it was said in the ad, but like I don't know, it just that
Oh,
isn't what came across to me. Like the stuffed aspect is what came across to me and like why I chose to buy versus the jumbo. But like they're
interesting.
jumbo.
Hey, sweet. Expectations for the win again. Like, yeah, you saw it, they were way bigger and just yeah, sweet. Okay, cool. So last like I have one more question, Kayla, which is like you said the outside of the box was banged up. Like once you opened it and saw that like card and smiled and saw how big the cookies are, like looking back, like do you care about that at all?
No, at first I like when I first got the package, I was a little disappointed. I was like, "Oh, I wonder if like my cookies are gonna be okay." But then I opened
Mhm.
it and it was like the inside of the box was way different than the outside and yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Okay. Interesting. Sweet. Cool. Eleni, Sweet 16 unboxing. How'd they do?
When the package did arrive, it was good. It's just a branded box in their like teal color with Sweet 16 on the outside. I did think it was a little strange that they had this beautiful branded box, but then the tape used to seal it up was like not the regular like clear tape that you put on any package. It was like brown clear tape. So it just like really stuck out and it wasn't like the paper tape that brands use. It was really just like that same plastic clear tape but brown. So it didn't like that's the first thing I noticed is like oh they use this like really weird tape and it was taped really aggressively for some reason. Like the box wasn't damaged. So I thought that was kind of weird. And then when I did open it, everything was just in the box, like together. So I ordered the gift box, the like large gift box or whatever it was called. But there was no aspect of like, if I sent this to someone and it arrived like this, they wouldn't know that I sent them a gift box. They would just think that I picked 20 different bags of candy, added it to my cart, and checked out. It was kind of like when you order a bunch of things on Amazon and they just like throw it in a box and ship it to you. And like,
Hmm.
yes, you get all of your things, but like, there was no card, no like, it wasn't packaged together in any type of way. And it didn't say that it was a gift box of any kind. So if I had sent this to someone, that would probably be kind of disappointing because if you received it as a gift, you wouldn't really know that it was a gift box. But other than that, the box came in good shape. It was branded, and everything was in there. But I think it is a miss to ship something advertised as a gift box with like no indication that it's a gift box.
For sure. Yeah, that is a huge miss. And like expectation wise, again, just like let down. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it would, I wouldn't feel that way if I had just like selected a bunch of things and they just shipped it to me in one box. It would have been like, okay,
Hmm.
cool, like here's what I ordered. But if you're gonna market it as something that you can send to someone else, you would expect that like slightly higher level of like a gift note or like it being packaged in some way that indicates that it like w was shipped as a package for a gift.
Is it marketed that way on the site?
It's called the big gift box. So to
For
me,
sure. Like you shouldn't have to say much more than that. Like I
yeah,
understand that as like this is a gift box.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, anything else?
Um, Not really because there was no information in the packaging, so can't comment
Okay.
too much on that.
Just product. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Saf, Smart Sweets. How'd they do?
Overall, not bad. So the box came, I actually didn't even realize it was my Smart Sweets order because there was nothing on the outside that like told me what it was. So it kind of sat in the corner of my house for like a couple days before I was like, oh, like that's my candies, which was like kind of annoying. But then when I went to open it, the branding on the inside of the box was like so unexpectedly cute. Like it was totally printed. Um, it came with stickers. Like once it was open, it was super cute. The only thing I think was like a really big miss is they had a card inside that like was super just not relevant. Like it didn't tell me anything helpful about storing the candy. It wasn't like a refer a friend offer. Like it was kind of just like a waste of paper in my opinion, which I thought was kind of unfortunate. But the branding on the inside of the box kind of like it was such a nice surprise, like such a cute touch that I really appreciated it.
What did
Okay.
that card say?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember. All I remember is I looked at it for all of 10 seconds, flipped it over, thinking that there was going to be something helpful, and put it down.
Fair enough.
Like, And if that's all I remembered, like, there's no way there was anything helpful on that, knowing we were doing this exercise. So I looked probably 10 more seconds that I would have looked at it if I had just bought it outside of this.
Right. Hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Midday Squares. Nothing crazy. Like it was a brown box. Like once you open it, they do have a really bright color packaging on the boxes of 12 squares. So like that struck me, I guess. Like it's nice packaging internally. I don't think there's anything else inside of the package, like a thank you note or something else. One other thing I'll note, maybe I just missed this. It's possible. But like I actually saw on Instagram that the brand was promoting that like they send handwritten Polaroids. Like they send like a Polaroid with like handwriting, like saying thank you on it, like in every order. And I didn't get one. So it's possible I missed it in my box, but like I don't think it was there. I
Feel
only
like
saw that post after.
Oh, I was gonna say, but I feel like if you like seen the post, you would remember if you got it. And like a
Or yeah,
Polaroid is
no.
kind of different. Like I've never gotten a Polaroid in a package before. I
Yeah.
feel like that's something you'd remember if it was there.
I'm
So
100% trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I'm 99% sure it wasn't there. Um, but like I'm just thinking maybe it was just like stuck at the bottom of the box and I didn't see it somehow. Um, but yeah, like it didn't affect me because I only saw that post after. But I do think that is a great idea to include, and like would have been nice for me to see.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Other than that, I think I'm definitely the type of person where like if it's not a bad unboxing and like the box isn't destroyed and like the minimum is done like on the packaging front, it doesn't like wow me. Like there's not much that's like gonna add to my experience for unboxing. Unless it's like extremely elevated. Like if you order from like Chanel or Louis Vuitton, they like give you a box that you actually want to like keep like as a decorative box or something like around your apartment. That would be nice, but like for the average sweet treat brand, like as long as it's not destroyed, I'm happy with it. I think we'll get into ratings. I think Kayla, what do you rate YVR?
I would say 8. They were good.
Cool,
I would,
Lenny.
I agree that the packaging is, if it gets to me and it's in there, like that's good enough for me. I don't normally think twice about it, but I think it was a miss that it was advertised as a gift box and it didn't come with like anything indicating that it would be a gift. So I would say -1 for that. So a 7 out of 10.
I think that's
Okay,
generous.
Saf, SmartSweets.
Um, like overall, no complaints aside from the like opportunities to optimize. So like an 8 was good.
Okay, cool. I'd give Midday Squares like an 8 too. Solid.
A three-way
Okay,
tie.
we have a three-way tie
Yeah.
for the winner. I don't know if that means that they all equally don't win or they all equally win. I think we can give them a crown each.
Each. I
That's
was
Thoughts?
just gonna
fair.
put a
But
thumbs down on Sweet 16 instead of giving anybody a crown, but that works too.
this is true. But I did see the unboxing video from Saf, and I think that
Staff's box
that's
was beautiful.
the top
Yeah,
one. If we're
Yeah.
debating, maybe Smart Sweets deserves an extra point 0.5. Because if Elliot's came with like nothing in it other than a brown box in the package, like Saf's branded box and card, I think
it
gets
was cute.
a 1% higher.
So I
If it
win.
was cute and like you actively remember being like, wow, this is nice, I think you win.
Yeah, I actively remember Staff's box from like the videos. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, cute.
Okay,
Do I
cool.
add like a little .1 here? Do we all we're good?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, post purchase. So once we got our orders delivered, what emails did we receive? What SMS messages, if any, did we receive? And how did those emails or SMS messages influence us to potentially want to buy again? So, Kayla, let's go through YVR, what they do.
I really got nothing, to be honest. I got like 2 emails that I would consider like part of the post-purchase flow.
Mhm.
But they were sent on like the day that it was ordered, as well as like a thank you transactional email. So I got 3 emails on day one, which was a lot. And then this first one, you're on a roll. Like it's from Smile, so it's from their like loyalty program. But I got that one before the like we want to thank you for placing your order. So I got this and I was like, I don't even know what this is. You're telling me I have points. Like, what did I like? Did I accidentally sign up for something? And I didn't
Mhm.
really understand. Like I had to then go on their website to be like, what is this? And I still don't understand their loyalty program, to be honest, in full. It was very like not clear. And then like an hour after I got this email where I'm like, what is this? Then I got the one that says, thank you for placing an order with us. And like it's very hard to read. Like the way that their font and coloring,
Right.
it's it's not like the most readable font. Again, it didn't explain a whole lot. There's no CTAs. It didn't bring me to like a landing page that explains what the Cookie Club is. It just brings me to the homepage.
Wait, so is the Cookie Club their loyalty program?
Yeah.
So they're sending you an email after the first one that's saying join the YVR cookie club with
Yeah,
no CTAs,
no
but like
CTAs.
automatically enrolling you in the program. Like you don't actually have to do anything to join.
Well, see, that's where I'm confused because it says I earned cookie coins, but then I need to do something to get cookie. I'm honestly still to this day not entirely clear. So I feel like I got cookie coins because I placed an order. Maybe I get more if I actually sign up, but
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
you
I'm
do.
not actually part of the cookie club. Like I didn't sign up, but they just gave me I wish that like I would have just got the thank you for placing your order and then I got a follow-up email a little bit later being like or like the next day being like you could have earned 600 cookie coins. Join our club to like claim them or something like that
Or
and
even like
explained
you
what
missed your chance like to
Yeah.
join. Like you because you didn't join, like we'll do you a favor and like give
Yeah,
you the amount you would have earned. But
exactly.
I think this represents just like a huge issue or problem that a lot of brands who use like Smile or like any similar loyalty program have, which is like they basically just install the app, like set the default settings up and maybe like the default Klaviyo integration, if that, and just like never actually like think about how they're communicating it. And then
Yeah,
things like this happen where like they are not communicating any of this to you properly at all.
and there's nothing on their website that fully communicates this either, which is also a miss because when I was like, okay, what is this? And I went to their website, even that like redeem now button, like a pop-up comes up that says like join the cookie club. And I'm still like, okay, but what is the cookie club? Like,
And like
must
I'm already
be.
in it. Like
It must be
like
something to do with the way it's set up because you placed an order and you earned 612 cookies. If you earn more cookies, you'll get $10 off. And more ways to earn is sign up. So you have cookie
yeah.
coins, but you need to sign up to get 50 cookie coins. So are you signed up or not? Because it's saying you have points.
But I'm not signed up. I've
Oh
never received
no.
another email about the cookie club except these two. These are the only emails I've ever received about the cookie club.
yeah, like, I don't think it's a miss to auto enroll people into your loyalty program if you choose to
No.
do that, but you have to explain like what
Yeah.
these are.
And the
Yeah,
order is just weird. Like I
for
just didn't
sure.
like the order of the way and it was like all in the same day plus a transactional email. So it was like every
What?
hour I got an email that day and I was like, "Whoa, calm down."
For
Would you
sure.
have unsubscribed?
These numbers are also just so random where it's like you earned 612 coins. It's like from what? Like I'd spend $612 and like earn 388 more. Like it just feels so random. But I think like
Well,
this
down
really is just
there's
representative of
order
like
online, like 10 cookie coins for every dollar you spent. I don't know.
yeah, but I feel like you kind of have to like dive in to get that info. I think it's
Yeah.
really just representative of like brands just not like setting this up properly at all and just like installing the app and being like, okay, cool, we have a loyalty program now. And like customers don't get any value out of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my thank you for placing an order with us email. Also, like from their paid ads and like how, like that's what lured me in was like that imagery in that video. And then I got this email and I was like, oh, like I can't even see their product here.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that like really yummy feeling of like their ads lured me in. And then I got this email that like wasn't delicious looking at all.
Yeah, like the expectation was that you would
Yeah.
like keep seeing the delicious cookies.
And then after this email, I immediately started getting campaign emails. So I now get a weekly email from them saying like this is the new flavor of the week, even before my order was delivered. So I do get like, which kind of like the first one I was like, ooh, like that's cool. Like maybe after I try them, I'll go try the other flavors. Um, but then it's a little annoying now because like the emails are like literally all the same. There's no variation to their campaign emails. I know we're not critiquing those, but
Were you disappointed? Like if you placed your order and then immediately got an email saying like, "Oh, like here's our flavors for next week." Like, "Oh, that would have been good to know before placing the order."
um, no, because it wasn't. necessarily a flavor I wanted.
But like if it had been, like you think that they'd have some sort of like some exclusion, like purchased in the last like X amount of days, so that people aren't like, wait, I would have wanted that one. I should have waited to place my order.
Yeah, because I got a 9 cookie box. So like and they're huge. So like it took me a long time to like get through all of those cookies. Um and you could have froze them, but to buy like another box, you have to like buy a minimum of 4 boxes. And with the shipping cost, like for me personally, because I'm in Ontario, it wouldn't make sense to buy one if it wasn't at least 6 or 9 cookies. So now I'm with another like month's worth of cookies to
Right.
buy one flavor. Um, yeah, I guess it would have been annoying.
Because
I
you
think
receive,
sorry, go ahead.
no, you go. Hmm.
I would say overall their emails were just disappointing because I was just expecting them to be more delicious and yummy looking, and they were just this like brown, no product imagery. And even their
Hmm.
campaign emails, like they don't like I don't look at them and feel like, oh my God, I really want that cookie, where I did feel that way with their paid ads.
Hmm. Because you received so many emails immediately after you placed your order, like, would you have otherwise unsubscribed after getting 3 emails in one day?
Oh, 100%. Like if it wasn't for this exercise, I would have been like, this is I would have waited. Actually, I probably would have waited till like my order came because I would have wanted those. And then I would have immediately unsubscribed to be like, I don't want these
Interesting.
anymore. Yeah. And also because like the campaign emails don't do anything for me. They're boring. They don't bring that like, oh my God, I need this cookie feeling. So I would have definitely unsubscribed.
So there is a limit of how frequently you can email someone until it does actually become annoying and unsubscribes. There's that
Yeah.
line of the more emails you send, the more revenue you can expect, but then there is too many emails.
But I feel like if I had gotten emails of value, then it would have been different. Like their card that came in my box talked about you can freeze these. These are good for so many days out of the box. I didn't get an email about that. I didn't get an email of like you like do this recipe, top our cookies with ice cream. Like they're jumbo cookies. Why would you like wouldn't that be like a great thing you could do? Like different ways you could like eat these or even letting like I only know that they do weekly cookies because I like spent so much time like looking into the brand for this exercise. But
Right.
like even an email in this post-purchase flow to be like
For
we
sure.
release different flavors every week. Keep an eye out and they stay around for 1 week, 2 weeks. So if you want a flavor, like kind of giving that FOMO of like if you want it, you have to get it. And they have gift boxes. They also have like cookie crisps that like almost look like cookie chips. But like I didn't get any of that information in my post purchase either.
No upsell.
There's no upsell, no nothing. Yeah, like it just really didn't feel like and even like gifting like okay now I've tried it you have these gift boxes like it just really felt like there were so many missed opportunities to like reel me back in after I bought these cookies but
Hmm.
they didn't and then even their did you like it or not it was sent like I got it immediately after I got the notification that like UPS delivered my order
Oh,
so like I hadn't even had the cookie yet. So honestly, I didn't go back and rate them
yeah.
because I got it the same day. Like I didn't have time to have the cookie yet.
Yeah. The wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit on like all the main points here, but it's just such a shame because there's so much that like they can be doing with like cookies that look as delicious as those. And like especially if you're saying even like in the campaigns, like they don't look just like mouth-watering for you to just like remember the ones you ate and just tie it back to like, oh, these look amazing too. Is such a miss. And then yeah, I mean you called it out, but like they have something so good going on with just like releasing new product every week and the fact that they're not calling that out like even in this loyalty program email which like they should definitely not be sending but like if they're sending it like at least like have a call out in there that like you can order next week's new batch and like
Yeah.
earn there so I think you called out like all the main points but yeah there's very little right going on here to get you to like number one stay subscribed and then number two like get you to use the product and
And
like
I feel like
really
there's
retain you.
so much potential. And that's where I think I said earlier, like it definitely feels like they're putting all of their spend into paid ads and just kind of ignoring this portion because their paid ads are like so good and like they look so delicious and it's not translating to this after I've placed the order.
For sure. And I think like this does represent how a lot of brands look at emails. Like obviously we know like the revenue impact that comes like when we optimize brands post-purchase flows. But like a lot of brands just treat email as like, oh, like we don't need to take this seriously and like it doesn't actually matter that much. So it's a
And
shame.
even
Yeah.
even like eating the product. So like you're supposed to heat up the cookies and there was a card in my thing to like tell me that. But if I
Mm.
didn't actually read that, like I'm not getting an email to tell me. And I actually to get like the really gooey that I wanted that I was seeing in the ad,
Mhm.
I had to heat it up like longer than what the actual card told me. But to have like a tips and tricks like, hey, this is how you can eat it. You might need to adjust. Because if I didn't or just went and bit it, like I would have been super disappointed. Like if I
Got
didn't
it.
know that that's how I was supposed to eat it.
For sure. Okay, so I feel like this is a good like place to ask you, Kayla, like throughout this post-purchase flow, this the last 30 days, like
Yeah.
how much did you enjoy the product?
Um, I would say when I first got it, I really enjoyed it. And there were some flavors I enjoyed more than others. Um, but kind of over the month, it was kind of like I've had enough.
Okay.
Like,
So it didn't
if
blow
that
your
makes sense.
mind. Like as far did it blow your mind as far as a cookie
So I
goes?
think
Like
like
that first bite.
yeah, like that first bite, I was like, oh my God, these cookies are crazy. But I think
Okay.
because like maybe it's because my box was so big and I had 9 cookies that like over time it was kind of like, I've had enough of these, like for my
Yeah, like
life.
maybe I don't need nine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I don't need this many cookies. But like that first bite, like the first day, it was kind of like, oh my God. But the second cookie didn't then go, oh my God, this is amazing. Like it was kind of novelty for the first cookie, but it that novelty didn't continue. And it never got as melty as the ads, no matter how much I microwave.
No.
And that really bummed me out because I always wanted it to be more melty and I just couldn't get it to look like the ads.
Yeah.
That's
YVR, if you're listening to
really
this, we need the secret sauce on how to get peak meltiness.
Yeah, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it.
Shame. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to Eleni and Sweet 16. What happened after you placed your order and got it delivered?
so the only post-purchase that came after the order was in my hands was this second one on the 30th. Um, but assuming that I received both of these after I placed my order, the first one was looking for a review. So that's the one on the left here. It could definitely be a better laid out email overall. There's nothing like screaming wrong with the header, but kind of as we scroll, there's a lot of places where I just immediately think we could optimize. First, being that this CTA is pretty low. When you open this email on your computer, it kind of slices at the bottom of this image. So at a first glance, it's we hope you loved your order. And that's what I think the entire email contains, and that's it because of where it slices. Whereas if you scroll a little bit, you learn that they want you to leave them a review of their order, which isn't um, like immediately communicated. The CTA is also pretty low, so I'm like now scrolling to kind of figure out what they want me to action from receiving this email. Then, which I think is good, is that they have this upsell section. So they want me to place another order. This could just be on my device, but that cherry licorice image wouldn't load. So I believe that this should be a 2 by 2 product block that's being pulled in, but it's a bit uneven because of that image. But they did have this. You might also be interested in this product section, which I thought was great. And then if you scroll a little bit more, There is a block that has a CTA in French. I don't know if this is because they send these emails in French and English based on where you shipped it to or what the qualifier is for that because I didn't like select a language at any point here. And then assuming that this block would have shown up as a 2x2 as intended, there's a CTA buy now, and then right underneath it's explore all of our products. So a bit confusing of if you're telling your viewers to do something, do you want me to buy now or do you want me to view all products? Um, and then just a thank you note at the bottom. So it could have been optimized more, but this would have been overall better to receive after I got the box.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
feel
the
also
main call out. Like, there's no way you're coming back to this email to leave a review
No.
like later. So, like, this should absolutely be sent afterwards.
Yeah.
Um, Outside of that, yeah, the French is just like clearly a mistake, I think. Like, it
Yeah.
really doesn't make sense to be here. And issue with dynamic content, like, that probably is just like a real issue. Are any of these, like, were all of these products not contained in the box you ordered?
So they were. I don't know if all of them were, but that original mix and the rainbow licorice for sure. I'm pretty sure the cherry and the sour mix were also in that box. But
So like the
I don't know
content
how
doesn't
many.
even make sense. It's like if you
Yeah,
like your last order, you might also like these, but you already had these.
yeah, I already had, I think, all of these. Also, the mega sour mix says view instead of buy now like the rest of them. So an oversight there as well. But the fact that there is a upsell block, I mean,
Hmm.
I think most of the things that they sell were in the box I got. There was like a lot of different types of candy in it. So
Hmm.
had you not ordered the box that may or may not have every single thing that they sell in it, this would probably be less of an issue and less likely to have everything you've already tried in it.
Hmm.
But it's not incredibly difficult to have it filter recommendations instead of things you've already purchased because you have that information.
For sure. Yeah, this is just like a weak email all around, like clearly not that much thought or effort put into it. Something else that like is pretty niche, but like caught my eye is like the lifestyle image they have in that header is like so specific to like a type of person who like plays vintage video games and like eats their like Sweet 16 products while they play video games. And I feel like just like for you, I don't know, do you play video games?
No, like the I probably would not have scrolled very far, if at all, on this. Um, just like where it slices the header here.
Yeah.
Also, the email overall just served as a reminder that I don't have my order yet, and they for some reason think I do, which just like
Mhm.
wasn't a great customer experience aside from like the email itself.
Got it. Okay. So it seems like the one green here is like they do have a post purchase flow, but
Mhm.
obviously a lot of room to optimize.
Yeah. And then the other one that I got, which I guess is 30 days after placed order, has the same type of things happening. So the header image, you're shopping in a retail store. I guess it's fine. I guess it communicates that they also exist in retail if maybe you didn't know. But there's a lot of text in the header and no CTA, so I don't actually know immediately without reading this fine print what they want me to do here. And then they include that upsell section again where the images aren't loading in and the formatting is kind of just all over the place. And there's no header telling me to shop or kind of what's going on. There's just products that appear.
And broken
Yeah.
products again.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is no very much like not optimal to get you to do anything, basically. Um, okay, cool. Any other notes here?
Not really. I don't know if it's because for some reason I'm being excluded, but I haven't received any campaigns from them even now. So it does make me think that email is not a focus for them, which kind of makes sense based on the French and the broken links and the like lack of optimization that are in the emails that I did receive.
Yeah, and I guess like I'm curious to know from your perspective as a customer, like how is your opinion of the brand influenced by things that are just like clearly like lack of effort focused? Like things like broken links, things like French and English email. Like are those things that you would normally like not think twice about? Or do you think just like when I think about the brand now, like the taste in my mouth is overall like a little diminished because like they don't really care about quality that much?
It is something that I do notice, like when emails come through my inbox, maybe because like in what we all do, I'm always like kind of looking a little harder than I think maybe just
For
a
sure.
regular shopper would. I want to say that it like diminishes the brand, but I do really like this brand and I probably will buy it again, like in a retail setting, like at the grocery store,
Hmm.
just because I just think they make a good product. But I don't think that that can entirely save you from kind of things like this. Um, Yeah, and also like I think a huge majority of their sales are from like wholesaling and retailing their products. So they're probably not noticing because this isn't like a focus for the brand and it's not gonna have like huge effects. Whereas if the brand was entirely e-com and there was, a link broken in the post-purchase, you'd probably notice pretty quickly or um like be putting in effort to optimize these as much as possible if you were exclusively e-com. But
Hmm.
it might be the same thing as Midday Squares, where such a big chunk of their sales and kind of customer are in stores. So that's where all of their attention is. And it just gets
Slips
left
by.
untouched after it's built on email.
Right. Yeah, that is most likely what's happening, I think. Okay, cool. Now, after the last 30 days, I know it took you a while to receive the product, but like, how was it?
The product or the emails I got?
The product.
The product is good. I got to try a bunch of things that I had never like seen or tried from like the other times that I had shopped this brand, which was good. Some new favorites, some that I was like, okay, I don't know if I would get this one again. Like there was one bag that had like gummy candies and these little chocolates in one, and I was like, okay, I can see how like people would like this, but I don't think it's for me. But overall, good. I probably wouldn't send that box to somebody as a gift just because of like the way that it was like packaged and not communicated that this is like a gift
Right.
box. But other than that, the product is good.
Okay, cool. Okay, Sweet 16 down, Smart Sweets up, direct competitor.
Okay.
Saf, how'd they
So
do?
I not horrible, but not as good as I wanted them to do. I got a lot of emails just like looking at the overall like there's a lot here. Um, this is kind of probably not as relevant, but like most of their emails weren't linked, and that bugged me. And especially the first couple, the only place they linked to was to like a PDF, so it didn't even take me back to their site, which was a little bit unfortunate. Um, I'll just go through the highlights because I there's a lot here. There was just a lot of opportunity to include like the benefits that I would get from having this candy over regular candy, or just like things that were already on their site, like information they have that they're just actively not using to make their email experience better, which I think is really unfortunate. It's one thing to not have the information at all, it's another
Hmm.
thing to have it and not use it efficiently. Do you know what I
For
mean?
sure. For sure.
So that was big. My other thing was that, so I think I somehow got mixed getting like post purchase and like welcome series emails kind of together, because I read both of the email I got on the 3rd and the 5th, and it is exactly the same content in a slightly different format. Like, why am I getting both emails of you telling me the same thing? So like kind of a
Just
waste.
unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't clog my inbox if you're not going to tell me anything new or anything like relevant.
Right.
So that was kind of annoying. And then I also noticed that they didn't give me any like storage instructions. So like in their FAQs, it said like once the candy's open, they start to harden immediately. That would have been good to know earlier in the process rather than like me having to go look for that information.
Do you not eat an entire bag of candy in one shot?
Not always.
No?
Am I
Okay.
weird?
So,
Well,
no, I
like
guess
if
like that could be a lot.
yeah, they're not huge bags, but they're like decent enough that like even I've noticed if they're in the grocery stores for too long, they also get hard. So if you don't eat them even when they're sealed quickly enough, they still go like more chewy than they should be.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I
that I did
have
Yeah,
not know.
noticed that when I see SmartSweets in the store, I have now noted to like squeeze the bag a
you
little
have to
bit
squeeze them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
To know
know
how
if
old they
they're
are.
like, I guess, fresh or not. And it happens enough that I don't think it's that they just like don't move inventory quickly. I think it just
It
they
happens
harden
fast.
up a little bit, like just really
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, yeah. So like I've noticed, especially if you look at like Walmart versus Shoppers, Walmart, they're always like rock hard and at Shoppers are not bad. So like just in general, like
Honestly, so
that's
funny that
good
you
to know.
both like notice that by shopping in store.
Yeah, well, I noticed it because the first time I had SmartSweets was at my friend's house and her mom had like she just like has one or two and like leaves the bag open. So we had gone to like have a couple and they were like hardened up a bit and they must have not been out for more than like 1 or 2 days, but it definitely wasn't like sealed back up in any sort of way. And then the next time I had them where they were really soft and like squishy, I like that's when I realized I was like, oh, they were probably like sitting out in the air and like hardened. And then after that, I started like noticing how quickly it happens to like pay attention if they're like still squishy or not. It doesn't affect the taste or anything. Like they're just slightly less squishy. They're not like bad or
But they
expired.
stick to
They're
your
just,
teeth more and I don't like that. Like as they
yeah,
get hard, they like, you know, like that to me is it gives me a worse end user experience if I
yeah,
don't
For
store them
sure.
properly. And I want to know that.
yeah.
S- The
Or
fact that
like,
you both like realize that though, and they're not doing anything to proactively communicate, because like there's no way that you two are the only people like
yeah,
who notice
no.
that about their
Yeah.
product. Yeah,
The bags also like I don't think they come in bigger sizes. I think it's only like these ones here that are just like the squares, which I think
Yeah.
most people would eat in one sitting. Like there's not very many in there, but they also don't have like a re-zipper packaging, like a resealable packaging on any of their products. Um, Whereas like the candies that I ordered, if they were not the tiniest size, which was like pretty small, they all had zippers to reseal them.
See, I wish more things came with zippers to reseal them. Like, why would you not? Anyways, but yeah, that part. So yeah, so that was really annoying to like not know that. And then there was also other things on their site, like the if the Smart Sweets were kosher, that they're gluten and nut free. Like, there's just so many angles on like share the candy with your friends to like get you to use it a little bit faster so that they don't go hard like sitting in your house. Like, I
hmm
think there was just a lot of angles to talk about that. And then what actually bothered me quite a bit was that I got 3 emails requesting for me to leave a review. Like, why are you asking me? Like, I might, maybe I'm being harsh, but I think that's excessive. No?
I think that's definitely like how spaced out were they?
So I got the first one on the 11th, the next one
hmm
on the 16th, so 5 days there, and then the next one on the 22nd, so another 6 days. So like they were kind of spread out over two weeks ish, if I'm doing my math right. Um, but like if I were just like a regular consumer and I got 3 requests to leave a review, I would have unsubscribed after the second one.
Yeah, I think like I have mixed feelings about it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but like maybe like for someone's first purchase, like you should also know how much they ordered because at that point, like probably did you finish all of the candy?
No.
So like you weren't even able to review all of it. And I
Yeah,
think that's
I
what's
hadn't even
important
I hadn't even tried these flavors yet by the time I got these emails.
for sure. At the end of the day, like your feelings are valid, Saf. You know, like no
Thank you.
gaslighting happening here. feelings are
Appreciate
very
it.
valid, and like that's what matters. So if they aren't keeping an eye on their unsubscribe rates, like it definitely is possible that like those second and third review emails, like you're not the only one, and like those are driving unsubscribes, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, I thought it was excessive. And then the other thing I noticed was that there was no like cross sell. So I only chose gummy candies, but they
Hmm.
also have like hard candies. So it would have been such a good idea to be like, oh, you didn't get to try the hard candies. Like,
For
try
sure.
these, like, you know? Um, so that was really disappointing because I was hoping they'd send me some sort of, not even like a promo code, but just something about their like other options like that I didn't choose because they have so many flavors. There's no upsell in any of these emails at all.
Like the only one is like the one on March 21st, I guess, which is a good,
That's
just fair amount after you place your order.
Yeah, but
That
that's just like a general stock up, not even like a you're
for
missing out on
sure. I
trying
think
all
this is
these other
like,
things
yeah, I think this is not well executed at all.
at all.
Um, but it is like there. Like that's their attempt, I guess.
Sure.
And I
And
think we can all agree. Pretty poor.
yeah, and they actually did send me more than one like restock email. I
Mhm.
got another one on March 31st, which was like I think 2 or 3 days after we stopped email collection. So it
Mhm.
was interesting that they tried to get me to restock twice. Um, and I don't know if that would have changed if I had restocked and they wouldn't have sent me the second one. But overall, just like poor execution plus why would they not push a subscription offer? Because it
There's subscription offer,
They
even
have
just something as simple as like dynamically showing you the products that you
yeah,
previously ordered, and like you can have like a reorder button next to all of them. Like
yep,
so simple and effective. And then yeah, obviously subscription is like the next level. I think like all the brands we're talking about, besides maybe like YVR, are probably all like in the same category of just like extremely wholesale focused.
mm,
Personally, if you're doing ecom, I don't see a downside to like committing to fulfilling subscriptions if like the alternative is basically allowing someone to go back and place an order, and like they're asking for you to stock up and reorder, you know? So like I don't see operationally why it like wouldn't be possible or like in their best interest at all.
yeah, 100%. And it's
Mhm.
not like this is something that like yes, they kind of go bad fast, but it's not like a super perishable item. There's no issue if it like if you get an extra box and you can
For
like eat
sure.
it. You know what I mean? Like if it sits there for a little bit, it's okay. Um, yeah. So
Mhm.
like overall, not horrible, not fantastic, and I do think that their design lacks a little bit. Like for something as fun as candy, I think this is boring.
100%. Yeah, all of these
Like
emails are pretty boring.
yeah, they used one GIF in the entire post purchase out of all the emails I got when they could have had like they have literally like little fish candy. Why would you not have them like swimming across the screen in a little GIF? Like
I think
literally
like
anything to make them slightly more fun.
what's also just like so glaringly missing to me is like there's such a like functional replacement product. Like for anyone who
Yeah.
eats normal candy, like SmartSweets has so much to offer for like like just improved health if you continue to eat SmartSweets. And there's just
Hmm.
like no reiteration of that basically. Like there's nothing to like get you to like shift your behavior and like get you to think about like how you feel better like since you've been eating SmartSweets, like how you should like what the long-term benefits are of cutting sugar, let's say. Like there's just really nothing here to
Yeah.
like drill that into you.
I would agree with that. Also, like I think that I would have expected them to lean on that side of their business harder considering they're a premiumly priced product. And I think when you're priced premium, you have to justify like as a to me as a customer like why you cost more, and like
Mhm.
Smart Sweets costs more because like their ingredients are better and they're better for you and they're Canadian and all of these other reasons, and it's not coming through as much as they definitely could.
Okay, Saf. So over the 30 days since you ordered, what was your overall experience like with the product?
Overall, super, super positive. I think that part of it was because I had already tried the brand in advance, so I knew the like small tips and tricks of like not leaving it anywhere too cold or not leaving it open. But like overall, all the candy was good. Even the new flavors I hadn't tried, like everything was good. Packaging was cute. Emails were good. Overall, good.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Midday Squares. So, okay, I waited 14 days from the time my package was delivered to the next email I got. So I initially thought that some of these emails that I started receiving were part of a post-purchase flow, maybe just based on the framing around them. But it became really clear that like they're just campaigns. So basically, just to give a like quick overview and like scan at what I think Midday Squares is not doing optimally in their post purchase experience. Number one, like that 14-day wait time is just super long to be ghosted. Just going back to what I said about like wanting to feel like I'm part of that crew love community, wanting to obviously just like learn more about the benefits of the products that I ordered, learn more about like how they can just keep me energized, like when I should be eating them, what those use cases might look like. All of that was missing over those first 2 weeks where I just received nothing. So I was left with the product. I think like it kind of makes the assumption that like anyone who's ordering just knows everything that they need to know about the products, and there's no like further education that's needed. There's no further like integration of that product into that customer's life that's needed. And for me, someone who like doesn't follow the brand religiously on social media, I do think like it would have been super helpful to have that in place. And I do think like because the brand is so social media heavy, and because they do have such a strong community on Instagram and other social channels, like it's easy for them to make the assumption potentially that like anyone who is buying on their website is doing so like after like being really ingrained in the brand and they already know everything. But like in my case, that wasn't my situation, and the brand is running ads and like they are like bringing in newly acquired customers through other channels other than just organic social. So I do think like that in itself was a big miss over those first 2 weeks. Looking at like the individual emails, that first email I got on the 19th, which was 14 days later, it basically says 2 flavors, 0 misses. So I thought right away that like this was about the 2 flavors that I ordered, but like in reality, it's just about 2 other flavors. There's really no theme in this campaign about like why these 2 flavors are together. So like they're pushing brownie batters, fudge, or crunchy peanuts bite, like you win either way. But there's just no messaging around like why these 2 are the flavors that they're showcasing. The CTAs that they use in all of their campaigns are basically like experience MDS or shop product name, and they basically all take you to the same product page. I think there's just a ton of opportunity here in their ongoing campaign. So like forgetting everything about their post-purchase flow, they know which products I ordered. Like they know which 2 flavors I already ordered. And there's just no reason, in my opinion, that they shouldn't be using zero-party data that they have access to in Klaviyo to be able to just customize like the products that they're talking about here, in order to highlight like either the products that they know I got or products that they know I haven't got to cross-sell me on others. I also think like when we go back to just like overall quality, like I think very highly of Midday Squares as a brand. And like what's interesting here compared to the other brands we looked at is the other brands, like down to the design of their emails, like clearly don't put effort into like their email marketing. So like we can kind of just chalk it up to like they're not really trying, and like they set up these flows once and like just don't really try and optimize them. But like when it comes to Midday Squares, like the design of these emails is very clearly trying to be good email design. So like I don't know if Midday Squares is working with an agency, if they're working on this in-house, but like their design is solid. It's not as bad as the other brands that we looked at. The problem is this is another great representation of how brands treat email marketing, in thinking that like it's all about design, when in reality, like design is not what's going to get me to come back and buy. And we can see pretty quickly, like when we look at the content of their campaigns, Like they're not using any of the information that they have about me. They're not using any like real marketing to actually get me to convert again. And like the simplest like example here of where there's clearly just like a lack of effort being put in is in that first email. Like I'm pretty sure this was like taken from a brief, maybe like for a copywriter. It just says like taste tested, totally loved. These flavors don't just satisfy, they convert. And I feel like that was like a brief that they gave about like these flavors like being high converting flavors or products. Do you guys like anyone else here like see another way like that could make sense?
No, that's totally like marketing language. That's not customer
It's
language.
my only like, oh, it's just copy pasted and like was an
Mhm.
oversight is like if the sentence continued and it's like they convert hangry into whatever, or like they convert like X feeling into Y feeling. Like if it kept continuing on, but if that's the whole sentence, that's definitely marketing lingo.
For sure. And like that actually
Also,
does, yeah, go ahead.
and say the difference between these and the other ones you received is like I would have thought these were two very different companies from these ones and then the other emails that you got from them about placing order, etc.
Right, exactly. So like what I usually say to brands is like the most important thing when it comes to your email design is that like it's just on brand with the rest of your design. So like someone who's going from your ad or your organic social post to your website and then receiving your emails, like it should feel like one brand cohesive visual identity and visual experience. And like I completely agree with you, Kayla. Like this is what I was expecting when I open that first email, and like it's a miss by it just being like very generic. So like they're taking their design and branding seriously, but like the most simple things here are just like being overlooked in terms of like sentences not being finished. Like even like the capitalization of like how they write sentences is really off and just like not ideal for someone to just like scan and read through. If you go over to that second email, Saf, this is just like another really like simple example of like I ordered cookie dough. Like cookie dough is one of the flavors I ordered. So I thought they were saying like obsessed with cookie dough, like leave us a review or like something along those lines. But it just says like get some cookie dough, not like when it's clearly like within the window where like I still have because I just ordered like pretty recently. So that was that. Like the rest of the email is like fine design, but then like you scroll all the way to the bottom and it's just like a very random cross sell that's in place for like a completely different flavor that like also is not related to like what I ordered or what I didn't order in my last purchase. Um, and then like if we go to the next email, like this again, like could be a post-purchase email where they're telling me to like fuel up IRL, but like from a like conversion optimized perspective, this is just a really big miss just because like number one, like you have two CTAs, which you should almost never have, like find us local, find us in Costco. But like if you click the find us local button, you just go to their like find us in store landing page, which like has Costco in it. So like there's no reason to have that second find us in Costco button. And then basically right below they're like, or just buy online, you know? So like they're not like committed to one single message. And I think that's just a huge like miss here as well. If you're gonna like we work with a lot of brands to like promote their retailers and help them sell more wholesale. Just help with their sell through in stores. But like if you're going to do that, it should be like one clear focused message on that. And then if we go below the next email, so they have this section that says fudge, yeah. It says indulgent, satisfying, and made to fuel your midday slump. Again, like the capitalization here just isn't how like people actually type. And then like in the like flavor section, this is the one time that they're actually showing benefits, which they should be doing more of. But like they're showing all of these different flavors. So like they're calling out fudge, like that is what the email is clearly for, their
Oh,
brownie
and
batter
it's
fudge
all
email.
the
Yeah, but
Oh.
like they have like these bites taken out of like all of these different other squares. So like is the 4 grams of fiber just from this like crunchy peanut butter like flavor, which is the square you're showing me? is like the 100% real chocolate just from this other flavor? Or like why is this not completely focused on fudge? And it seems like a small detail, but the truth is like this is what causes confusion for people. And like you want to have your messaging and your marketing just be as like cohesive as possible. Like this should be really clear to someone, and it's not.
Almost wonder if the Midday Squares team is like, or whoever's briefing these, like just has like really strong feelings, and then like they have a
I
design
don't think
agency.
so.
I don't know.
I think it's an agency that is actually terrible and like probably based like overseas and like doesn't have like the best English or whatever. And I think like all they look at is just design. And like if you just look at
Yeah.
this email from far, like it looks fine. Like it looks like a good
Yeah.
looking email, but it doesn't actually say anything to like get someone to buy. Next email I got says like the ultimate snack showdown. So number one, like why is there a showdown between these two flavors? Number two, like the copy here says three flavors enter, only one wins, but you're only showing me two products up here. And then like choose your flavor. Like I just really don't understand like what this showdown is. Like you have five flavors. Like why are these three battling?
It's
Like I
the ul-
really don't get it.
the ultimate snack showdown should be Midday Squares against every other midday snack.
Yeah.
100%. Like that would
Like,
get me to understand why I should buy midday squares in general. But like you're just having your product compete against each other in a way that's actually like very detrimental to the brand overall when like your copy that's trying to sell each of them seems like competitive against your other products when in reality like I believe that they all have protein. So like saying the protein filled nut bar for this crunchy peanut one seems like this one doesn't have like isn't protein filled
like that
or
one's sweet, so like
like this one
obviously
sweet and
one
has serious
worse
functional
than the other.
benefits, right? But like do these ones like not have serious functional benefits? like like I completely agree with you that this should be a
Right.
showdown against other like chocolate bars and other brands, but
I,
this is not doing anything to get me to buy one
Because
of
now you
these.
don't know which one you should buy because which one has the benefits that you want.
is
I
anyone
want
else
all of
wondering
these
what those,
benefits.
but what are where are the benefits?
Like
Aside from
well
like protein
protein
filled, is
filled.
that like their like main, why is that not bolded? Am I
For
being
sure. So
annoying?
like you can see here, it's like 4 grams of fiber, 6 grams of protein. Also here, like to your point, Eleni, before, like this is clearly missing the end of a sentence, like creamy, dreamy, and packed with nutty, dairy free. Like dairy free what?
Yeah, like
So to me, like the truth is, as a consumer, like if I like the product, like I'm probably not paying that much attention to this. And like I'm analyzing this from an email marketer's point of view right now.
yeah.
But like what I do know about Midday Squares is like their whole branding and messaging is like we're building $100 million chocolate company.
Yeah.
And like I think they're publicly at like $30 million a year in revenue right now. So like they're doing a great job. And like this isn't slowing them down. But at the end of the day, like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And like aside from just like simple copy mistakes and like very little like quality assurance going on here, like that does translate to like how I feel about the other things that you're doing. Like if this is your quality assurance, like when it comes to your marketing that's going out to hundreds of thousands of people potentially, like how much quality assurance are you doing on the product? You know, like
Yeah.
it really does translate like to me in that way.
It's it's one of those like okay, if it was a once and like the sentence wasn't finished, like okay,
Mhm,
unlucky. Like we're poking at the one mistake, like it happens. But
mhm.
the way that it's like multiple unfinished sentences, I'm like somebody wrote the copy, then somebody designed it, and maybe the copy did or didn't have the end of the sentence. It fell off somewhere. And then somebody's reviewing it and also isn't reading it and then like it's being shown to the brand assuming at some point who also isn't reading it and then it's being scheduled so it's like things like the end of the sentence missing is like how many people did this go through who just like weren't looking.
For sure. And like you're completely right. And this is like what separates brands who like take their marketing seriously, take their brand seriously, and brands that just like overwhelmingly think of emails like, okay, it's a pretty design and like that's it. And like these aren't even the like big problems in my mind. The big problem is like you're not telling me anything in this email that is making me want to buy. Like that's the problem to me. It's not even like the lack of a like end of a sentence. That's like a smaller problem to me. The bigger problem is like there's no marketing thought being put into this. It's just like words and pictures basically like being put together is what I see here. So like that's that. They did resends of these campaigns like every day basically. So like they sent one at 12 and one at 8. And I would absolutely unsubscribe if I was getting these because like it really is just like here's product, like buy our squares, buy our squares, buy our squares. And like they have so much to talk about as a functional chocolate company where like they can easily continuously give you reasons to continue buying from them or continue to engage with their brand. Like they do so many amazing like brand marketing things on the social media side, but yet email is just used as like, here's some words, here's some pictures, like go buy. So definitely just like a lack of effort being put in here. And then like the last thing I want to call out here, and this is really where like brands lose out on a ton of revenue. If you scroll to the last email, Saf, last one. Yeah, exactly.
I genuinely wonder, like, maybe just again, nobody's looking and like calling it out, but
Mhm.
how their performance is with sending resends on 100% of their campaigns. Because I'll be the first to say, like, do a resend and like make more money. Like, but there is like the same way that Kayla received 3 emails in one day. And like, there is a line where like you have diminishing returns on that.
100%. And I think you also just have to factor in like, is what I'm saying like so important that like if someone missed it the first time, like I really want to make sure they see this the next time. And in all of these cases, like the answer is pretty clearly no. Like if I miss this email, I'm really not missing out on like any important messaging
Yeah.
from the brand. Um, and like I'll actually just like back up a second because if you go to that email to the left, Saf, like this again is only like really clear if you follow the brand on social media and if you know them. But like Crew Love like is their thing. Like they are so big on community. And this, which was sent on the 31st, basically 30 days after, almost 30 days after my order was placed, is like the first time Crew Love is ever mentioned in email. And like it's a great example of how brands just treat email like a completely siloed channel that like exists completely outside of the rest of the brand, which like just doesn't make sense. Because like if I bought the brand because like I wanted to be in Crew Love because that's all you talk about on social media and that's what sold me, like why am I never seeing that again on the email side? Like I should be seeing that because I'm clearly not like the hope is probably that like I'm also seeing every social media post, but I think like it's pretty obvious that I'm not like the algorithm is not going to reach everyone all the time. So like the way you drive a lot of conversion and really strong community on email and SMS is by like looking at your other channels and just making sure that like email is like playing properly and like fitting into the puzzle of the rest of your ecosystem. And it's not just used for like, here's product, go shop, go shop, go shop, you know? That's it.
I do wonder if they use that header for everyone because what does review in the header lead you to? Like leave a review or read
Where do you see that?
reviews? Shop Midday Squares review.
Oh, I think that's there for everyone.
I
There's like
I'm
there's
curious to
no
know where that
aspect of
leads you.
their email marketing strategy that leads me to believe like there's any segmentation or any like dynamic content going on. So it's almost definitely
That's
going to
such
everyone
valuable real estate. Why is it just review?
for sure. So like that's that. And then in that like the last email, this is where objectively they're just leaving a ton of revenue on the table. And like when we talk about repeat purchasing, like this is now 30 days after I placed my order. Like I will talk about it in a second, but like I might have finished all the bars that I have. And I already mentioned like the thing that I called out in my initial shopping experience is like I wanted to try all the flavors and I couldn't. Like they don't have that variety box. And even if you wanted to buy individual boxes, like they limit you at 4. You can't even buy 5 boxes in one order. So what that means is like when I then get an email that says like you won't want just one, and then like the header says you're gonna want them all. Trust us, you won't want to choose just one flavor. And then the CTAs try them all. Like I want to try them all. Like thank you. This is what I wanted. And it's just so disconnected from the rest of the ecosystem where like then what happens when I click try them all, I get directed to a landing page that just says, which do you want to buy? And it's like, you just told me I could try them all. So like, why do I need to choose one? I want all of them. And then if I click on one of them, it then takes me to like their one product page basically, where like the most I can buy is a 45-day supply for $93, where like I can still only choose 4. Like I literally cannot choose 5. So it just like is so disconnected from the call to action. But if you're just an email marketer that's like looking at this email design in Figma and like trying to put something together that's like gonna get a click, like you don't realize that. Like you're not actually looking at like what someone wants and what is going to get someone to buy. So it's just so disconnected. I'm like shocked at how little thought is being put into this, because this is where like now you're wasting my time. Like now like you are getting me a message that I'm interested in and then not fulfilling that promise when I get to the website. So like that is objectively just like annoying to me. And like someone like the answer could be like, oh, well, you can actually buy a 30-day supply and get 3 different flavors. And then you can get like a 20-day supply and get like another 2. And then you have 5. But like, that's so not clear from like this journey here, you know?
That,
It's just really
yeah.
disconnected.
Also, like, you have, um, like, not returns of scale, but returns of scale when you order more. Like, I don't want to spend $1.95. I want to spend $1.95 a bar if I want 5 boxes. I don't want to spend 206 on 3 of the 5 and then 229 or whatever that says on the other 2.
Yeah, it's a good point too, for sure.
Like, I'm now spending more for buying more. Yeah, hard agree
For
on
sure.
everything you just said.
Yeah, so that is basically it. So that's all I received after placing my order. Like, what this didn't contain here is just like any content to get me to consume the products on a regular basis. So for every single product that we're talking about here, like the goal should be for any consumable product, like get the shopper to consume the product on a regular basis. And like for every brand we looked at, for the most part, like they're not doing anything to get that done. And like Midday Squares is not the exception here, because like if you think of the average Midday Squares customer who's like going to a 9 to 5, going to an office, like it has a job, like they're going to have breakfast, they're going to have lunch, and then like they're going to have their midday square around like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. to like avoid that crash in like the late afternoon, early evening. Maybe not on the weekends, but like during the week, there's no reason why like you shouldn't be able to fit that schedule every day for the most part. And yet, like if I go in my fridge right now, 40 days after I place the order, there's still like 10 bars left. There's like 10 squares left, and I ordered 24. So like I didn't, for whatever reason, get into the habit of eating those squares every day. And I can say in hindsight, like I crash almost every day. Like there's really no reason why I shouldn't be having one every day. It's just about building the habit. And like some days I'll have a later lunch, so like I won't have one. And some days like I'll skip lunch entirely and then I'll like have that as a lunch. But like in reality, like what I would do if I were them is like have an email or SMS that goes out every day for the first 7 to 14 days, let's say, that literally just reminds you to like avoid your afternoon crash. Like, hey, like you now have your midday square in the fridge, like go get one. And like it's 2 p.m., like don't crash today, you know? And like that genuinely would have been helpful for me to get that text message, because I would have been like, oh, you know what? Like I'm actually in the middle of working and like wasn't gonna go take the time to have one.
Yeah.
But like now I will, and now I'm not gonna crash. And after 7 days, like that's when you can kind of look back and I think like see the transformation and the benefit of like not crashing every day for a week. Because now I look back over the last 40 days and I'm like, yeah, some days I had it and like maybe I didn't crash. Like, yeah, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But like there's no clear string or pattern that I can
Yeah.
now identify to be like, I now need to have this every day. So that to me is like the biggest miss in what they're doing right now. And I think definitely like they can have fun content that's like your coworker just told you about like donuts that are in the break room. Like don't go for it. Like grab the midday square instead. Because that's other people, like they know why people are buying midday squares. Because like people are going to the vending machine and like getting a Kit Kat or an O. Henry bar, or like they're having the donuts in the break room. Like they're not having something healthier and they know that they should be, which is why they're ordering midday squares in the first place. But like they're not mentioning that at all afterwards, and they're just like assuming that someone's gonna like build this habit on the like on their own. So like they can actually be that like healthy friend that's like just pushing you to adopt like this healthier lifestyle. So that's basically that. Like there's no proactive customer service going on to like check if like I'm enjoying the flavors I ordered. There's no like personalized cross-selling of other flavors. So like I said, like they make it hard to order everything. They don't have that multi-variety pack. Like they absolutely should like have emails and SMSs in place to just identify what I didn't try and like maybe give me a discount on buying those so that like they can make sure that I have an opportunity to like try all of the flavors. Because I do think with all the brands we talked about, whether it's candy or Midday Squares, like there might be one flavor that like gets you hooked, you know? So like maybe like when I ordered the peanut butter and the cookie dough, like they were good, but maybe if I would have tried like the peanut butter crunch or whatever it's called, like that would have been the one that like hooked me and like that really got me to say like I want one of these every day. So I think like it's important for those brands to get you to just like try as much as possible. So ideally they could have like a variety pack on the site, but if they don't have that, like at least in your post-purchase comms, like try to get someone to buy that. Then basically like they're doing nothing to get me to replenish. It's now been 40 days and I haven't gotten a single like replenishment email when they know that like I should be out of product for the most part, according to like their standard that they set. They don't have subscription, which like I think is just a huge miss for the business to then like upsell me from a one-time purchase into a subscription. They're not requesting reviews on any of the flavors I ordered, except for that like or just like static review CTA that's in every campaign. And then like I think this is a big miss from every brand that we saw except YVR potentially, which is like they don't have any way for me to save on the next order. So like if I did really like the products and like I would like to buy again, but I just feel like it's expensive, like is there a loyalty program in place? Like can I subscribe and save? Can I refer a friend to earn? Like there's so many ways that you can push savings for that next order and they're just doing none of it. So between all of that and like the lack of just cohesiveness between everything they say on like social media and everything that's going on in their emails, like I think that is absolutely what could have been done to just influence me to like place another order already in the last 40 days. Yeah. Okay. That's it on the MDS side. I think it's finally time to review the post-purchase side of these brands. So on the YVR front, Kayla, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna give them a 3.
Did anyone get SMSs?
No.
No.
Are SMSs worth 5 out of 10?
Like if there was an SMS?
Yeah, like is lack of SMS already like the maximum score you can get of 5 out of 10?
No, I don't think so. Like I think if email's great, they can still get a 10.
Okay. Then I would say, well, still because I received post-purchase before the order and then one after the order, I would have to give it a 2,
And some of it was in
unfortunately.
French.
And part of it was in French.
Yep. Mine overall, like, just it left a lot lacking. Like, there was just so much potential that they just like decided to ignore. I'm at like a 5.
What's that meme that's like I would give it a 0, but like because I can't, you can give it a
I'll
1?
give you a 1. It's
Something like that?
from Dance Moms, I think.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
it's like I
definitely
would
know
give
it
you
from
a
TikTok.
0, but I cannot.
Okay, I'm not gonna give it a 0. I'm not gonna give it a 1, but I'll give it like a 3 just because like there was really nothing good about it. Like they didn't actually like there were things that were bad. I will say that. Um I want to give them a higher score. Like they're the hometown hero, you know? I like Midday Squares, but really like I can't. The 3. That's it. All
I
right.
feel like I was generous. Was I generous?
You no, it's how you feel. Go
Well,
with the gut, Saf.
I I mean, like Elliot got campaigns instead of like real post-purchase. I got post-purchase at the wrong time. Kayla got confusing um
Yeah.
Loyalty. So you being the highest, I think, is fair. Whether you think
Yes.
5 is generous, though, is different.
That is true. Like technically, I probably should be at 0 if I didn't receive a single real like post-purchase email.
Yeah.
But I'll just
Yeah.
look at the full 30 days. And like the truth is, like these brands, like what I see often when I audit brands is like they can have a post-purchase flow set up, but like the triggers or filters are set up improperly, and people just don't go in
Yeah.
to the flows. Yeah. Okay, now let's find out how important email and SMS marketing actually is. So when we go to overall retention ratings, so now I want to know for each of these brands, starting with YVR, like based on everything we just looked at, could probably do like an average system, but out of 10, Kayla, what do you rate them?
Mm, I'm gonna say 5. Yeah. I think there's a lot missing, and from like the email retention side, once I've ordered, is very mismatched from like their other channels.
Mhm.
Um, and they're not keeping me like inspired enough. And for their type of brand, that's I feel like that's what they should make me crave those and want their cookies. And that's lacking big time.
Got it. Cool. Eleni, Sweet 16.
I want to give them a high score because I like their product and like they're a Canadian brand, but I honestly think that having 0 campaigns and the post-purchase being timed so poorly is actually worse than just having post-purchase with like bad content. Like nothing is worse than something that was just okay. So I might have to give it a 4.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
Your feelings are valid. Saf, Smart Sweets.
Um, I feel like generally speaking, like there was very few points in the process where I was like, this is a bad experience. Like, yeah, was it underwhelming? Sure, aside from like the unboxing, but none of it was like aggressively bad. So I would say like a 6.
A 6? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Um, for Midday Squares, I think everything that they are doing from order to post purchase just like leaves so much to be desired to get me to come back. Like it's obviously a push and pull. So like the product is like natural pull, but like in terms of how they're pushing for retention, um, I just can't give them a really high score. I would say probably I'm gonna go with a 5. I'm gonna go with a 5.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Okay, so that leaves our winner at SmartSweets. It was definitely not a runaway victory. Definitely not. So it
Definitely
was
not.
a tight race. It almost feels wrong to give them a crown, but
Uh,
the rules are the rules. So Saf can have
sure.
her crown for choosing SmartSweets. Now, we've reached the point in the show, ladies and gentlemen, where we have to answer the final question, which is the end goal of this entire exercise, which is would you buy from this brand again? So let's go one by one and leave a pause for a dramatic effect and let us know based on everything we just looked at and the product quality and your experience with it as it pertains to like how it actually solved the problem and like how it lived up to the expectations you had when you bought it. Would you buy again and why? Kayla.
No, I probably wouldn't buy from them again. Um, I feel like it would be like a good gift box, but I know like the only reason I'm remembering them is because of this experience. Like they're just their retention efforts are just so lackluster that when it came time to like give a gift, I wouldn't they'd be so bottom of line of mind that I wouldn't send that gift or think of them again. Um and I think that's just the thing. Like it seemed really exciting and like really good, and it just didn't match my expectations. And then their email and retention doesn't bring me back to like, oh, well, this could be really good. Let me try this. Like they have like cool flavors. They have like themed flavors. They had one for like St. Patrick's Day, and they have Easter ones. So like I don't know. I feel like they could do more to reel me back in, but they're not. So no.
Okay, there we go. There we have it, folks. Sweet 16, Eleni.
I know that I'm gonna buy their product again, but I would not order it online again. So if they were exclusively e-com, then it would be a hard no because of the shipping timeline and just the overall like lack of expectation setting of when it would come is just enough to not order from them again. But I just like the product so much that if I'm in a store, I would probably buy it because those become non-issues in that sales channel. I wouldn't, I'm agreeing with Kayla though that I would not even send it as a gift because of like the packaging, but
Mhm.
I would purchase from the brand again. And I almost want to say that I wouldn't, but I know that I would. So, yes, but is the answer.
Okay, yeah, that's a very well-rounded answer. I think you covered like all the main points there. Okay, Saf, Smart Sweets. Would you
Um,
buy from them again?
So I'm kind of in the same boat as Eleni, just that like because I like the product so much and it solves like one of my issues of just generally eating less sugar. Like yeah, probably, but would I go onto their site and do all the things to place another order? Probably not. It's one of those things like I'm already at the grocery store, I'm like grabbing it on my way to checkout. I wasn't like super impressed by like doing it like via ecom rather than just picking it up like when I wanted it. Like I wouldn't go through the extra hassle when I'm like already at a grocery store. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That
Yeah,
almost unlocks like a greater question to these brands. Like, yeah, such a large chunk is retail and like through retailers, but I wonder like, is it more profitable for them if they can push more e-com sales? Like, does their is their margin bigger on e-com and they're like actually missing out on a huge opportunity here, or do they like rightfully not care because they can just put more effort into retail? Because Saf and I
I
are
think
both going to continue to buy on retail.
yeah, so I think that's like a very, very good question to ask. It's the right question to ask. And like I'll parlay that into my answer for Midday Squares, which is the same as both of you, Eleni and Saf,
Yeah.
which is like I will not be ordering from Midday Squares' website again. Like it was not, they did not build the habit for me. Like that's the biggest thing. Like if they had a subscription option and they were able to build that habit, I could see myself subscribing. But like because they don't have that and they weren't able to successfully build that habit for me, like I might buy it again if I'm at a grocery store and like I'm going through a week where I've like had 3 or 4 afternoon crashes and I see Midday Squares on the shelf, like maybe I'll pick it up. But like it really didn't do anything to get me like interested or excited to buy again. So the question you're asking, I think it just so happens we chose brands that like are
Yeah.
primarily in wholesale channels, which is most CPG brands. And like the volume and revenue from wholesale is obviously so much greater than what they're going to see from e-com. So like that's where the focus is. But yet, to your point, like can they be more profitable and drive more profitable revenue from the same customer that's like going to buy from them on e-com and like give them consistent cash flow every month with a subscription compared to like not focusing it on it at all and just like hoping that the ecom like experience isn't bad enough to like detract
Yeah.
someone from buying at a retailer.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to add there.
Yeah. All right. Well, if no one has anything else, we have our answers here, which are a resounding no across the board from the e-commerce side of things. And ultimately, like that is what we are looking at. So obviously, like we pointed out a lot throughout the show about what can be improved. let us know in the comments if you like this format, if you made it to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.